You just realized your business needed to hire someone yesterday. How can you find amazing candidates fast? Easy. Just use Indeed. Stop struggling to get your job post seen on other job sites. With Indeed sponsored jobs, your post jumps to the top of the page for your relevant candidates, so you can reach the people you want faster. According to Indeed data, sponsored jobs posted directly on Indeed have 45% more applications than non-sponsored jobs. Don't wait any longer. Speed up your hiring right now with Indeed. And listeners of this show will get a $75 sponsored job credit to get your jobs more visibility at Indeed.com/PODKATZ12. Just go to Indeed.com/PODKATZ12 right now and support our show by saying you heard about Indeed on this podcast. Terms and conditions apply. Hiring? Indeed is all you need.
When you were talking about 8 figures, 9 figures, one of the things that I did was I actually took a photo of myself and made a collage and put myself next to Zuckerberg, Kevin Systrom.
Oh man, I saw that.
Jack Dorsey and Spiegel. So Snapchat, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and myself. And the reason why I did that is you have to normalize the notion that someone that looks like me can actually be someone like them.
Yeah.
And that is something that makes a lot of the establishment uncomfortable, and that they don't want to happen, because I understand that there is an extremely exploitive, predatory relationship between Black culture and social media. Black culture is the economic engine of social media.
Yeah.
It's literally the cool sauce that makes it run.
Yeah.
Right? So Facebook can be a great car. The gas is Black folks.
Yeah.
The gasoline is our clapbacks on Twitter, our dances on TikTok, our skits on Instagram, everything that we do, like all the culture things that we create and we do, those are the things that make these platforms powerful.
Yes.
Given enough that I think one of the very first VCs, and it might have been that first VC that I talked to, their question was, why would you want to go up against Facebook and Mark Zuckerberg and Instagram?
Whoa.
They said, why would you want to do that? That's what they asked me. They said, why would you want to do that? And I said, well, for one, I can build everything that Mark Zuckerberg can build, but Mark Zuckerberg can't build me. He can't build Black culture.
So I'm trying to contain my excitement right now with introducing the guests that we have for y'all today. So obviously, with Tech is a New Black, of course, the foundation of everything that we talk about is surrounding tech. We discuss breaking into tech, scaling in tech, and then launching your own tech business. That third piece is something that we rarely talk about. Well, not only do we have a guest today who has launched his own tech company, but it's really unique in terms of what the tech company is. So everyone who is watching or listening right now, you are on some version of a social media platform. Well, this guest today has launched a social media platform that I believe, and many others agree, is the future of social media, which is Fanbase. So everyone, I want to introduce you to our guest today, Isaac Hayes III, also known as the founder of Fanbase.
Hello.
Bro, thank you so much for being here, man.
Hey, man, thanks for having me, man. Dude, I really appreciate it.
I don't even think you know how, like, initially a homeboy of mine, Keith Dorsey, he was like, yo, no, man, you should connect with him and stuff. And I was like, yeah, I heard about him. I seen him. I see the waves and stuff of what Fanbase is doing. And he was like, bro, like, you should connect with him. He was like, man, potentially, if he has like the bandwidth, he might be able to come on the show. And initially in my head, I was, that's a long shot. And I'm always the type where I'm like, okay, well, we'll build up one day to have like a status enough to like have someone, of your level come onto the show. And so we're not even at the level yet that I wanted us to be at to bring you on. So very humbled, grateful just for you to be here, man, just with everything you and Fanbase are doing.
There's no such thing as a level that you got to be on to have somebody on your show. And there's no level that is too low for me to be on a podcast or that's not, man, that's not, no. You're Black. It's a dope show. You reached out. I want to do it.
I love that.
What we do.
Thank you so much for
Absolutely.
that. Eric, we legit gonna have to get some of those little bomb sound effects in there. Like,
I have those on a Rodecaster, that my air horns and
you know what you did, Eric did put when we were when he had laid out for me all the things we needed to order. One of the things he did lay out was like a board that I'm sure has sound effects. I think that's one of the only things we don't have. So yeah, we do need to go ahead and kind of copy from what you have.
I'm finna take that clock.
Yeah. Yo, I'm so here for it, man. So here for it. So let's go ahead and jump into it. So, so what is Fanbase, and how would you describe Fanbase differing from what we've seen already on social media, or what we haven't seen with other social media?
So Fanbase is a free to use social media platform that allows you to monetize your life if you so choose. I think it's first and foremost a community, a social media platform, but I think more importantly, it's an opportunity for people to actually make money from their social, which nobody really has ever done.
Yeah.
Like to really just start out like with the intention of letting people actually monetize their content as opposed to being the source of monetization for the platform.
Yeah. That's so dope, because as someone before, even myself, even before being in tech, myself and even Eric, like, you know, we've been content creators for so long. And I always tell people when it comes to like other social media platforms outside of Fanbase, I've always told people like, man, don't even consider the AdSense money that you're gonna get on these other socials. I'm like, that's not, they not really caring about actually getting you like anything that's significant.
Yeah.
And then we look on the opposite end of the spectrum and we see other platforms where, yeah, they're pretty decent at monetization, whether it's OnlyFans or a Patreon. But the thing that's strongly lacking with them, in my opinion, is that they don't have that. They're not real social media platforms.
They're not social networks.
Yeah, exactly.
They're content houses.
Exactly. And so Fanbase, one thing that really caught me off guard with it, I was like, yo, this is so dope, is that it really houses both extremely well.
Yeah. Man. Thank you.
Yeah, no, and again, as a content creator, I mean, thank you for what it is that you're doing and what Fanbase is doing.
I think, well, the first thing is I consider every single person on social media a content creator.
That's true.
Whether you post one photo a year or 100 a day, they're running ads in between all of it.
Yeah, they're making money off of.
They're making money off every single piece of content that comes to them. So even if you're just using it casually, they're still making money. I tell people all the time that if you are not making money directly from the platform itself, then you are the product. You're what's being sold. So you got to understand that. You might feel like you're having fun, but they're making money off of you in some way, shape, or form.
Dang. We having fun, they making funds.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's a whole bar what you just said.
Yeah.
I love that so much. So what led you to start Fanbase?
I had no plans of getting into tech.
Yeah.
I was, a music producer by trade. I was managing my late father Isaac Hayes' estate.
That's where the drip comes from. It comes from the background of being a producer, and then
I mean, I was just casually, enjoying life. But I'm passionate about Black culture and Black people.
Yeah,
I'm really, entrenched in Atlanta's political scene.
Man, I see that online. You are really in it.
I'm always looking out for us because Atlanta's just the most amazing city, and we got to maintain this city.
Yeah.
So, ironically, I was born in Memphis. Got to Atlanta when I was like 3 years old. And I was on Instagram, and this young man from Memphis went viral for dancing in a Spider-Man costume. He goes by the name of Ghetto Spider. And I just shot him a DM and said, congrats, young Memphis, because he really went viral. Like, it was like he was everywhere.
Yeah.
And he hit me back in my DMs and was like, are you a manager? Do you manage content creators or whatever? I was like, nah, I manage my dad's estate, not really. He goes, I need a manager. Like, he was really like, he wanted to come to Atlanta and talk. And I was like, oh, hold on, let me think about it.
He's like, even if you ain't a manager, I want you to be my manager.
Yeah, like, yo, what's going on? So I said, let me think about it. And then I got out of the DM and I was like, this kid is having the moment of his life, but he does not know how to monetize it because he doesn't own Spider-Man.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I'm saying? And so if Marvel and Disney want to shut him down at any moment from making money off their IP or using it, they could. They haven't yet. They've been really good to him, which I think is dope.
Yeah.
But I was like, we need an app where people can subscribe to people like Netflix, like directly to the person, right? And then that was the idea. That was the birth of like, okay, I got to build Fanbase because, OnlyFans had come out the year before. It was called Fans Only, and I was familiar with Patreon, and I really just did some research about platforms that monetize content, but there were no social networks. They're just like OnlyFans is heavily pornographic.
Yeah.
And they make a ton of money. Don't get me wrong. Like, both sites are very, very successful. But I was saying collectively, as a group of users, everybody should have that same ability to do so. But then put it in a social environment. Yeah. And so then I was like, I got to build it. So then I was like, I don't know anything about tech. So I know some people from the Gathering Spot in Atlanta, Georgia, if you've ever been there.
Shouts out to Gathering Spot.
Yeah, shout out. So I met Jewel Burks, Justin Dawkins, and Barry Gibbons just by being a member there. And those were my first initial tech senseis, I call them. And they showed me the ropes about what it means and all that kind of stuff. So I was like, okay, I listened to them for probably a good month or two, picking their brain. And they were so, kind to do so. And so then I said, okay, now I got to build this thing. So I invested my own money. I spent like $200,000 of my own money to build the very first version of Fanbase. But I'm a record producer, so I was able to advance myself some royalty money, and said, let me take a chance on doing this, and I built it. And then we had about close to 10,000 users in the first year. I didn't tell anybody I built it. There was a reason that I didn't, because I had this apprehension of me being a black founder of a social media platform and how people would respond to that. So I didn't tell anybody I built it, nobody that I even knew. I just wanted to see who would use it. But the reason behind that was because I know that if I ever raise money and I say, well, how did you get a user base? And I would say, oh, I told this person and that person. They'd be like, that's not real growth. We need organic growth. So I left it alone. We got to about 10,000 users, and one user made about $6,000 in a year off of about 10,000 users. I say, okay, it works.
Yeah, exactly.
People will subscribe to other people. Mm-hmm. People just have to understand that they can do that and be, forward thinking about how they're going to do it. Because most people have no idea or even feel uncomfortable about charging for content. And so that was really that. From that point on, we were about to move into the pandemic, and I was going to raise money, and then that's when everything changed.
So how did that? So leading into that, so everyone's very familiar with the pandemic and how that's affected everybody individually. Yeah. But how did that change things for Fanbase?
So a couple things. I only have the experience that I have as a musician and someone in the music industry. Yeah. And so all I could only do is compare tech to the music or use it as a relatable.
Oh, we love analogies.
Yeah, right.
We love analogies.
So what I realized is tech and the record industry are pretty similar, meaning the VCs are like the label, and then the apps, startups are like the artists. So if you have no traction, you're just a kid off the street, they're going to say, we'll sign you to a deal. We'll give you $150,000 for 25% of your company. And that always never makes sense to me. Like, that's too much. Yeah. So knowing that you kind of got to get yourself hot before you talk to them.
Exactly.
And so I had one meeting with a VC, and it felt like a record company, like, oh yeah, they were really kind of dismissive. And I was like, okay, I don't like this. Yeah. So then COVID happens, and I was going to raise money, and then we couldn't move. So, everybody was on lockdown. Okay. We were just like, everybody was inside. And so equity crowdfunding. I got introduced to equity crowdfunding from a friend of mine named Dawn Dixon. She's the first black woman to raise $1 million in equity crowdfunding. If people don't know what equity crowdfunding is, it's just an opportunity through legislation that Barack Obama and Joe Biden passed in 2012 that wipes out the accredited investor rule and allows any person to invest in an early stage company regardless of their net worth or income.
Wow, that's amazing.
So when you think about the Apples, the Googles, the Microsofts of the world, all of those companies were initially funded by rich people, wealthy people, but with not a lot of money. It was just a law. The accredited investor law was created by wealthy people to lock everybody else out from all the best opportunities.
Exactly. So only the wealthy could invest in these opportunities, and other people, even if the other people are willing to invest more,
it's illegal. Man, and the law has been in effect since 1933, so it's not even about color. Yeah, it was about class. It was right after the Great Depression.
Very classism.
It's very classism. So I always use the example of one of the seed founders of Uber, a guy by the name of Orrin Michaels. He put $5,000 into Uber as a seed investor in 2010. When the company went public in 2019. Let me know how much you think his $5,000 was worth.
Yeah, for Uber?
Yeah.
That 5,000. I mean, I would think
No,
like a 5 mil. I mean, I know.
$24 million.
Oh my gosh.
So that's crazy. Imagine that.
$5,000.
So yeah, even if 10 of your friends got together and put $500 a piece in and say, hey man, let's invest in this company called Uber, and 9 years later we got $2.5 million.
All of them are millionaires.
Right.
500. Oh my gosh.
Right.
That's crazy.
So that is kind of like why I think it's just, unfortunate that we never had these opportunities, but because of the Jobs Act, which is the legislation, it wipes out that rule.
Man,
so Dawn was able to raise money that way, and then I had a meeting with Alexis Ohanian. If everybody knows who that is, Serena Williams' husband.
Oh yeah. Okay.
And we were talking about how that law is so messed up, and even the fact that like it's okay for me to go buy $5,000 worth of lottery tickets. It's okay for me to go to Vegas and gamble $5,000, but I can't put $5,000 on Instagram or Uber or whatever. And so, so then another friend of mine, Monique Idolette, who's the ex-wife of Timberland, she is in tech as well, and she's like, you need to really check this company out called Start Engine, and they're an equity crowdfunding platform.
Yeah.
So I submitted to Start Engine, and only 2% of people that apply to equity crowdfunding get accepted. So I got accepted. I learned how to make a deck. I didn't know how to make no, deck presentations. Julian sent me to somebody to make a deck, and I just said, send me the keynote back. And I started clicking buttons, and I made my own deck. I'm one of them dudes. Like, I'm going to figure it out.
No, I'm just saying, I'm with that.
Yeah.
I love it.
So I figured that out, and then I got accepted. So it was a good thing because it really forced me to be a better founder, because the process takes about 3 months. You got to go through a financial review, all this compliance, SEC, like you really got to know your stuff. Man. To the point, like the first meeting that we had, I think I might have like been late or not delivered on something, and they were like, hey man, do you want to do this or not? Like, and it really helped. So we launched our campaign in 2020, October 29th or 28th, like a few days before the election. And in 3 weeks, I got to $300,000 raised. My goal was to raise $1 million, and we were about $300,000. And then I actually did the Breakfast Club, and then we raised like over $700,000 in like an hour, way more than that actually. Raised.
You said in an hour?
Yeah, we raised like almost like $2 million in like an hour.
Whoa!
So it was wild. It was crazy. So I actually broke records on Start Engine for like the second most amount of money raised in a 24-hour period.
Man, that's insane.
Yeah.
And
So
major congratulations though.
Yeah. So then we went on to raise in that first round $3.4 million because of COVID, the SEC upped the regulation that you could raise up to $5 million rather than $1 million. So I had a huge wait list of people that still wanted to invest in Fanbase.
Man.
So we raised $3.4 million. I launched another raise at the end of 2021 for 2.5. And then I just closed the third round. I'm sorry, 2.6, and I just closed the third round of 2.5 million. So we raised about over $8.5 million for Fanbase.
Yo, that's incredible.
Yeah.
Man, major congratulations. I love that so much. Man, when you started Fanbase, and obviously Fanbase is still at a place where it's like legacy still hasn't been cemented yet. It has so much more to do. But even when you began it at the time, did you ever like imagine like it becoming even what it is now? No,
it's so funny. I did only because I'm a faithful person. Yeah. I believe. You know what I'm saying? I'm not surprised. I'm actually relieved and feel very thankful that the way that it is. And so I'm confident in the things that I've learned and the experience that I have. And so I was like, this is what it's supposed to be. It was just like an incredible, moment. I think that now some of the things that I didn't know is that I would be the first to do things. And I think that's really what's cool. Is like, I'm the first Black man to raise over $5 million in equity crowdfunding.
Wow.
So I'm the first. Fanbase is the first native application that allows a user to subscribe to another user via an in-app purchase. And what's important about that is no one cared about paying creators until we came along.
Yeah.
Patreon had been around. OnlyFans had been around. The moment that you could click 2 buttons and subscribe to somebody, Instagram started coming out with it, Twitter, Snapchat, like TikTok, like the subscription, because I tell people all the time, subscriptions are the future, and it's going to change the world in a way with money that I don't think people are really aware of how rich people are about to get, and very fast.
Man, but there's so much to unpack. With all of that. One thing I guess I've been really curious about. So with Tech is the New Black, we talk a lot about, helping people like break into tech and scale in tech. But honestly, my biggest thing, and I haven't really revealed this too much, is my goal is to like inspire more Black people to actually consider like, hey, eventually starting a tech company.
Yes. Starting
a tech business. Because one of the, like our guest that we had on recently, we were talking about how, in the tech industry, just working a job, if you're working hard, if you're competent, got a decent job, whatever, you're going to make like a low 6 figures at least, which is great because that's significantly higher than the average income of our community.
Yeah.
So that's great. But it's like, man, as much as that, I've seen people oftentimes say like, oh man, that, I want to make 6 figures so I can build generational wealth. And it's like, you're not building generational wealth making 6 figures. I hate to say that. And I didn't realize that until I got to this. And I'm like, oh yeah, you actually, it'll take a very long time.
It's going to take some generations.
Yes, it'll take some generations to build some generational wealth. But it's like what many of our counterparts, I think what they realize in this industry is they're like, okay, yeah, y'all can work in this industry, but many of us are going to be the executives or we're going to be the ones that are like the founders of these companies.
Right.
And it's like, that's where the 8-figure, 9-figure, $1 billion are at. And so, and that's the real wealth that's being built.
Absolutely.
That's the real power that's being built down. And again, nothing's wrong with the 6 figures. That's good. Cause again, that still gets people like at a good place. But it's like in terms of like, yo, us as a community, if we're trying to really do some big things, some really big things, we have to start looking at the 8 figures, the 9 figures and beyond that. So what would you say, are some things, let's say there's someone who they're looking to be like, hey, I might want to start a tech company. Let's say they have like a good idea for something, and maybe they're like the younger Isaac, where they're like, I don't know anything about a tech company or this or that. What are some basic things you would suggest for them to look into so that maybe they can kind of prepare themselves and set themselves up to maybe step into, if they have a business and they're like, oh, this technically could be a tech business in some type of way. What are some keys that you would give? Well,
I mean, just recognizing where technology can fit in your business. You should always consider technology in whatever you're building. I mean, if you have a great idea and it works and it's something that you can scale without considering tech, but always think about ways that technology can make, your business a lot more efficient and help you grow. And then for me, like, just, I'm a little different because I've been a career entrepreneur. Like, I haven't had a job since I was 20 years old. Like, I haven't worked for another person since I was 20. But that was a gamble of mine. So I'm very used to, like, I'm very comfortable with living uncomfortable. Yeah. So when you're living like you don't know where your check coming from and all that kind of stuff, I'm 20 years into that. Like, I'm cool. It's like living outside in the jungle. Like, nothing bothers me like that. Yeah. But a lot of times people are afraid of that. So one thing is, I think there is a bit of entrepreneurship that has to come with that. That's the first thing that I have to say. You have to kind of be able to let go of one to do the other. Yeah. And it's very, very scary to leave like the security of a job or the things that you want to do and make a leap to go forward and say, I'm going to start this business. And it's extremely important that, I express myself in a way that I'm going to be able to do that. So you got to be fearless for real. Yeah. Yeah.
Man, absolutely. That's good. And that's really helpful. So one of the things that I've noticed about you and I appreciate about you, like you're a man of conviction where, not only is fan base different and unique and needed, as a social media platform, but also you as a founder are very unique and different from like typically a lot of founders from what I've seen
are not black.
Yeah,
in social media.
First and foremost, they're not black. That's the biggest thing.
Yeah.
But something else, many of them typically try to play the fence in terms of their views with things. And, you know, they try to play the fence. They try to almost kind of make everyone happy, or they just try to stay out of certain conversations as much as they can.
I've changed a lot since. Trust me, before Fanbase, it was worse.
Oh,
but
yeah?
it was worse. But I understand that technology doesn't have a race, it doesn't have a religion, it doesn't have a sexual orientation, and so you know, I personally believe in the freedom of anybody to express themselves the way they want to. Yeah, but a lot of times you can't be like, well, I don't want people to feel like a Republican couldn't get on Fanbase.
Yeah, definitely.
Or you know what I'm saying? Like I don't feel comfortable because like like Fanbase is literally for everybody, and. The part that something significant that you said and something that I did when you were talking about 8 figures, 9 figures, one of the things that I did was I actually took a photo of myself and made a collage and put myself next to Zuckerberg, Kevin Systrom.
Oh man, I saw that.
Jack Dorsey and
Neil Patel.
No, was Spiegel? Spiegel.
Okay.
Spiegel. So Snapchat, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram. And myself. And the reason why I did that is you have to normalize the notion that someone that looks like me can actually be someone like them. Yeah. And that is something that makes a lot of the establishment uncomfortable, and that they don't want to happen, because one of the things that, and this is extremely important, which I became fearless about in building the company, is that I understand that there's an extremely exploitive, predatory relationship between Black culture and social media. Black culture is the economic engine of social media. Yeah. It's literally the cool sauce that makes it run. Yeah. Right? So Facebook can be a great car. The gas is Black folks. Yeah. The gasoline is our clapbacks on Twitter, our dances on TikTok, our skits on Instagram, everything that we do, like all the culture things that we create and we do, those are the things that make these platforms powerful. Yes. Given enough that I think one of the very first VCs, and it might have been that first VC that I talked to, their question was, why would you want to go up against Facebook and Mark Zuckerberg and Instagram? Whoa. They said, why would you want to do that? That's what they asked me. They said, why would you want to do that? And I said, well, for one, I said, I can build everything that Mark Zuckerberg can build. Yeah, I'm confident in my team. My CTO Ramiro is an incredible CTO. Our team is extremely talented, but Mark Zuckerberg can't build me. He can't build Black culture.
I love that.
That's why I was not afraid. I was like, I'm not, because people look at people and people make the assumption that all of these platforms are going to be around infinitely, like they're going to last forever. Nope. You know what I'm saying? If you looked at like who the number one retailer was in the United States in like 1980, it was like Sears, Roebuck. Right now it's Walmart. And probably in the future it'll be Amazon. Yeah. Nothing lasts forever. And so I have a belief that every single social media platform has a lifespan, even including Fanbase. It will live and it will die. And so it's made relevant by the generation that makes it relevant, and then those people grow up and then other people come on board. Yeah. So, you know, MySpace is dead. Facebook's a senior citizen. Yes. Instagram's a middle-aged adult. Snapchat's a millennial. TikTok's a centennial. And I built Fanbase to be Generation Alpha. And I said that because kids are always going to want to be on apps that their parents are not on. You know what I'm saying? As soon as my mama got on Facebook, I was like, I'm out. I'm gone. Yeah. Like, peace. Y'all can have Facebook. I went to Instagram, haven't looked back. And my brother, who is 16 years old, is nowhere near Instagram. Yeah. His social life is somewhere else. Yeah. So it doesn't matter what Mark Zuckerberg builds. You're not going to get a 13-year-old to start a Facebook page or an Instagram page. Yeah. Never. They're not going to do that. Yeah. Like, why would they do that? Like, my aunt is over there. Grandma's on TikTok. That's what they're doing. The kids are saying like, oh my God, grandma made a TikTok page. You know, so now they're looking. So now kids are looking like, where are we finna go? Yeah, because we can't have fun over here. So, and then from the monetization aspect, the exploitive relationship between culture and how these kids create these dances and this content, and these companies make so much money off advertising. Like Facebook ad revenue in 2021 was $115 billion with a B. right? 115 billion, right? And I say this all the time. I say, tell me right now, like, go ask Facebook to put 5 billion in the hood. Like you guys contribute so much to the culture and make this app so popular. Go put 5 billion in Chicago or Baltimore or Atlanta, you know what I'm saying? In Houston, New Orleans, whatever it is, to build community centers where kids can create content and do all these types of cool things they have. I said, you think, for instance, that you think for 1 second that Fanbase is making 115 billion in revenue, I'm not putting billions into my community to be able to do that. So it's a very important situation because now you're taking the culture and the tech and you're putting it up under one umbrella. And they're looking like, well, where do we make our money? Where do we exploit the culture? If he's the tech and the culture, where do we get in? And that's a problem. And I like that. If you're not pissing people off, if you're not disrupting, then you're doing something wrong. And so that's one of the reasons why, like I said, I'm so passionate because I want to disrupt. And I think Fanbase is going to be one of the most disruptive platforms that's ever existed. But I don't think people really see. I talk about it all the time. I sound like the scientist in the movie, in the asteroid movie that's saying it's coming, like it's like winter's coming on Game of Thrones.
Yeah. I've
been saying that for so long. And now that people see it, they're like, I think this MFer might be right.
Yeah, I think nigga right.
Because it's like Elon bought Twitter and they were like, oh shit. And then TikTok might get banned in the US and everybody's getting frustrated with Instagram and Mark Zuckerberg's trying to build a metaverse, and they were like, well, what's going on with social media? And I'm like, I'm just over here like, I'm telling y'all, these subscriptions finna come in and make so much money. It's just a $1 trillion industry that's about to hit very hard.
Man, dude, you said so much, like even things I wasn't expecting you to share. Oh man, you went so many different angles, and I'm like, man, my mind's kind of racing with all these different tangents that I want to go in. But I want to stick to the stuff that we decided we were going to talk on. So, man, I'm such a fan. I'm such a fan of like Fanbase and what y'all are doing. I love the fact that you kind of saw everything, like you're a visionary. You saw everything ahead of time. And what's so wild to me is that you were relatively new to the space, and I think maybe that's part of what makes you so unique and so well poised for this industry, because you didn't come from the angle that many others came from, where many others came from a very technical background, or they were in the industry, so they saw things a certain way.
That's a gift and a curse.
Yeah, but because of where you've come from, you come from a culture, a group of people that are naturally creative.
Yeah.
So naturally that runs in your mind. And then even again, you being a producer, like just there's so many elements of that I think it now explains so much about Fanbase, just knowing more about you and understanding more about your mind. I think that's what's so important, where people tend to look at like tech companies, or they look at a tech, they'll look at like what a business is doing, and oftentimes like, man, you need to look at the founder and look at the team. Yeah. If you really want to have a better understanding as to the longevity or the future of what that's doing. And so, like talking with you and hearing more just about your perspective, your background, it makes it very clear about just why, like how you've done everything you've done with Fanbase and what Fanbase is. Yeah. So we're at the start of a new year. Just finished our first week in January. We have an entire year ahead of us. What do we see? What do you see for Fanbase at the end of the year, end of 2023?
Well, we definitely want to, go to Series A. I think institutional investors have been reaching out, and I think it's the right time. And this is why I say it's important, because when you look at VCs as the label and me as a startup, I'm thinking, okay, we got to get Fanbase hot in the streets. So now you just can't hand me a little small amount of money for a large chunk of my company. Yeah. And when they did that, and even going through Start Engine, it's like I went and sold $8.5 million worth of shares out the trunk of my car. So I went independent. So now they have to look at you differently. Like, you can raise money without us. You don't really need us the way other startups need. And then I think my inexperience in the tech space is it's good and bad. I'm tell you why. It's good because I don't know the rules, and that's cool. Because most people, I say this all the time, and I've always just say this: like, if you want to do something, learn the structure, but then get out of the system. because you can't break the rules that way.
Yeah.
Like most of the founders of these companies are smart guys that dropped out of college. Like, I'm not finishing 4 years. I got the basics what I need. I need to move around and like I'm not gonna work my way up the ladder. It's not about that. It's just about going out there and getting directly what you need to do. So for us this year, disruption, really honing in on the community of Fanbase. It has so much functionality. If people don't know Fanbase, and I can just say it real quick, it has photo, video, audio, live, stories, and long form content up to 2 hours. We call Fanbase Plus.
Yeah.
And so, and that's like everybody's Netflix. So there's a place for everybody to monetize their content. But if you don't, you can have followers. And then if you want to make content for people to subscribe, you can have subscribers. And I think that's the one thing that people know. So really establishing that. We just finished our first real meeting of 2023. I set the company OKRs for myself. The other teams have set OKRs. If people don't know what OKRs are, objectives and key results. So like what we are as a company and what we're going to do the first quarter. And then that trickles down through the company. And then we set KPIs and everybody understands. And those are key performance indicators. So people don't know what KPIs. I'm starting to learn all this
acronyms,
man,
1,000 acronyms.
These corporate acronyms. I ain't never had no job. Like, I ain't been in corporate America like that. So I'm learning, but I have great leadership. I have great people that my goal is to always hire people that are smarter than I am. Andre 3000 told me to read this book called Rocket Fuel. If you haven't read it, really good book.
Fuel.
Every successful company has a duo of two people. They have a visionary and an integrator. I realize that I'm a visionary.
Yeah.
I'm supposed to come up with the big ideas, close the deals, you know what I'm saying, sell the company, have the large, broad vision for what the company is, and then place integrators who are supposed to integrate that vision in a corporate fashion, in a very productive, professional fashion, and make sure we get things done that we need to do.
Yeah.
And so that's like my integrators are like my chief technology officer, Ramiro Canavas, who I wouldn't be here without him at all. I think people don't understand how important a CTO is to a tech company. They are the person that makes the buttons do what they're supposed to do in the right way. You know what I'm saying? And for me, that's just what it was for me. Like, I love coming up. I love being able to throw something at them and they're like, oh, we can build that. And I'm like, y'all really? Okay. They've never let me down. They've never let me down, which gives me confidence.
Yeah. Because now it's like, now okay, whatever I can imagine, whatever I can dream of,
they can build.
That's beautiful.
And so my ideas get stolen all the time by these other companies, by the way. That's why I love it. It's like this is a good thing that happened. When we first started building Fanbase, Apple told us we could not do what I wanted to do. Said you cannot have an app that allows you to subscribe to somebody via in-app purchase. There's a particular reason why, because they create this thing called a subscription profile.
Oh, so you mean when you say Apple said no, you mean like in terms of like the
App Store?
Okay.
The App Store would not let us build initially what I wanted to do. Yeah. Which is ironic. Which is I wanted to make an app where somebody could subscribe to somebody with a click of a button and subscribe. And so when you subscribe to something like Netflix or Spotify or something, Apple on the back end has a thing called a subscription profile. And they said, we're not going to let you build an app where you could have somebody could subscribe to 100 people and you want 100 million users and we got billions of subscription profiles to keep up with. So Ramiro was like, he said, I thought we was done. I was like, man, I just took all this money and invested in building this shit. He goes, no. He goes, this is a good thing. He goes, that means you're about to do something that's never been done.
Oh.
He says, let's follow their rules. Let's do what they say that we have to do, and then we can do it. And Google said the same thing. They were like, y'all can't do that. So then what we did was we tiered subscriptions initially. So one profile was you can subscribe to one person. Another profile is you can subscribe to 3 people.
Oh, wow.
Or another profile is you can subscribe to 5 people. That's how we got around it.
Yeah.
So then we heard that Instagram was doing like subscriptions. And we hit up Apple and be like, wait a minute, how is Instagram able to do what you said we couldn't do?
Yeah.
And they go, oh, well, we've had a change of heart about subscriptions. And so you should really reach out to the subscription team to see kind of like what's going on. And so they came out with subscriptions. Yeah. And ours function that way now, but that was my original goal, which is just click a couple buttons and subscribe. And so I think that was extremely important. It's validating that process and understanding that Your CTO knows what the hell they're doing.
Yeah.
We're building something that is groundbreaking. I'm going to give you a couple stats that I think, some information I think people need to know, which is extremely important. One, this is why I say subscriptions are going to take over. Even for your platform or anybody listening, there are 7.5 billion people on the planet with a smartphone, right? Almost 94% of the planet has a smartphone.
Whoa.
Right? So everybody.
I did not know that many people. Yeah. That's crazy.
Right. Now, I'm going to ask you a question. Out of those people, how many people do you think have a Netflix subscription? Out of 7.5 billion people.
Oh, man. I used to know around how many people were on Netflix. But I know their numbers have been doing some goofy stuff right now. So out of all of those people, I would think, what, like 30 million, 50 million have a Netflix?
I'm actually surprised you went that low. Most times when I ask questions, people are like, oh yeah, I'm probably sure like 2 billion people got a Netflix account. I'm like, only 222 million people have Netflix.
Oh, man.
Only 525 million people are on music streaming services combined. So Spotify, Apple Music, Tidal, right?
Yeah.
So people subscribing to other people is going to be bigger than Netflix could ever be. The fact that 7.5 billion people can hit a button and subscribe to another 7.5 billion people.
Yeah.
That money is going to obliterate the type of revenue, and it's going to change every single industry, because the amount of money that people are going to start making via subscription is actually going to outpace and be larger than what you do as a profession. Meaning recording artists will make more money off their subscribers than they will off the record company.
Yeah.
Athletes will start making more money off their subscribers than they do off the teams they play for.
Mm-hmm.
You understand? Movie stars will start making money off the subscriptions than the studios that pay them to do their films.
Yeah.
So the leverage is going to switch.
Yeah.
Right. When you take someone like when you take The Rock, right? And I say this is important. About 5% of the people that follow you on social are your fan base. Right. You got to think about that. Like, you got to think someone like Beyonce has, I don't know, 200 million followers. If that's the case, she would sell 200 million albums every time she dropped. It's not it. You know what I'm saying?
We saw what happened with Sweetie recently.
Yeah.
And all her followers.
Right.
Yeah.
It's not, your following is not your fan base.
Yeah.
Your fan base is a small group of people that are really dedicated and interested and care about your success. But even someone like The Rock, who has about 350 million followers on social, it's about 17 million people around the world. Right? If 17 million people subscribe to The Rock on fan base, you make $2.50 a subscriber. Subscription on Fanbase is $4.99. Wow. It's $4.99. That's because Apple and Google are gangsters and they take their 30 cents or 30%. We take 20% and give 50 to the user. But that's still on par with what, like Twitch Prime and YouTube Super Chat. They take about 50% of the revenue or whatever when those subscription models. But that's still, I think The Rock would make over $500 million a year in subscribers.
Whoa!
And what that let me know
that's
was
larger than how much he makes as an actor.
Right?
And he's the top paid male actor. That's insane. Wow!
And that's $500 million a year. And then what that let me know is The Rock could be like, I'm gonna take $100 million and shoot my own movie and put it on Fanbase Plus, and now I'm the gate.
Yes.
I produce it. I just use Fanbase Plus as the distribution outlet. There's an Apple TV app. It's on iOS, Android, desktop. People can subscribe directly to my movies. That changes it. When you think about name, image, and likeness with athletes, it's like you can be a college kid, you know, coming into the NBA. You've been making more money than the league can pay you because you got so many subscribers that are your fan base.
Yes.
If you're an artist, when Taylor Swift sold 2 million tickets in an hour, I thought people were really going to get it. I was like, you don't understand. There's nothing in between you and 7.5 billion people but 2 clicks of a button. So if you're making more money than the label can pay you, when your deal is up, you be like, oh yeah, I want 95% of the profit and you take 5, or I'll go do this shit somewhere else.
Yeah.
I want the cash money deal.
Yeah.
Or I'm out of here. And you're going to get it, because what is the point? And then when you think about the average person that lives in America, the average American salary is $47,000 a year, right? But check this out. 5,000 people subscribing to you on Fanbase brings you $12,500 a month, $150,000 a year. Just 5,000 people. You'd be making more money than 97% of Americans.
Man.
Instead of going like, I'm about to go bust my ass. And people don't think, I know people with 3, 4, 5 million followers that are broke. But all you need is 5,000 people.
Man.
To make $150,000 a year. That's a lot. That's an insane amount of money. It's a numbers game. It's not about people like, oh, I got 13 million followers. Cool. How much you getting paid off that?
That's why I've told people at this point, like, it's like having followers on these other social media platforms, it means virtually nothing. You know, people meet me and they're like, oh, you got this many followers. And I'm like, man, trust me, the following don't mean nothing.
Yeah.
What matters is if you know how to monetize it, or if you can monetize
that
it.
Fan base.
I love that fan base is like basically sorted that out for people.
Yeah, I tell people, you want 1 million followers, you want $1 million. 1 million followers is one thing. $1 million is 50,000 people subscribing to you, and you make $125,000 a month. You make $1.5 million a year. Just 50,000 people. Yeah. And you have the ability to do that. I just think it's changing the mindset of people. Like every time new technology comes out, people always reject the technology.
Oh yeah.
Meaning like, oh yeah, I'm hold on to my 8 tracks. I'm gonna stick to my LPs.
Yeah.
I'm gonna hold on to my cassettes. I love my CDs. I still want to buy my MP3s. And now everybody's streaming music.
Yeah.
And so subscriptions, like charging for content, and this is and the fact that this is tech is the new black. Let me tell you something. People that are making money in subscriptions, it's 7% white people, because the white community puts a value on something the moment that they create it. The moment that they build it, they put a value on it. You understand what I mean?
Can you explain it, like unpack that, please?
So that means that we give our content away for free. Like mixtapes, like social media is just like the mixtape era in the music business. We give our content away for free to hope we go viral. Then I can get on Wildin' Out or get a brand deal or something. But that's not a guaranteed source.
No, it's not.
People are charging for the content that the moment that they put it out. So you ain't never seen a country mixtape, a EDM mixtape, a pop mixtape.
Yeah, mixtapes are just in the black community,
right?
Black hip hop.
I said, if me and you were to start a business today, we were gonna sell muffins, and we had to give all of our muffins away until Tyler Perry walks up and eats a muffin and says, "This is the best muffin ever. Go buy it." We wouldn't be in business very long.
Yeah,
that's exactly what people are doing. They're giving away their IP away for free until someone recognizes them. Then they go viral. Then they got to turn that moment into money.
Yeah.
You know how hard that shit is.
That's crazy.
And 99% of the people that do that, it never happens. How many people you know have done a dance challenge and done 2 of them? There's been only one Shiggy challenge. There's been only one Junebug challenge. There's been only one Renegade challenge. There's been only one Savage challenge. Like those individual people have only done it one time. Virality is that. It's virality. Yeah. It's unpredictable. You can't control it.
Yeah, you can't.
But subscriptions, you can control.
Man.
You can absolutely say that. And I don't want us to run over time, but I think there's some things that are extremely important that have to be said.
No, please.
We build industries like black, especially African American culture. We're the smallest culture group on earth. Smallest, right? And youngest, about 600 years old, right? But we're the most influential.
Yeah.
Right? Trillion dollar, culture. Everything like how we dress, how we talk. It's impossible to sell anything as being cool without the assistance of black people.
Oh, definitely.
You need our music, you need our dance, you need something from us to do that. And those are multi-trillion-dollar businesses. And when I told people, I had a chance to talk to Grandmaster Flash. I met him for the first time via FaceTime from my boy Dre. And I use him as an example all the time. I said, the moment that you DJ'd on 2 turntables and a mixer, someone should have pulled you to the side and said, do not show an MF for what you just showed me. Let's go figure out how to build turntables and mixers. Because everybody that does that is going to need those. Fast forward, the invention of DJ culture is now a solid piece of hardware. It's 2 turntables and a mixer built together that Techniques and Pioneer own, and Serato has the software. Mm-hmm. It's a like $6 or $7 billion a year industry. So Grandmaster Flash should be sitting
billions of dollars
in a house somewhere worth about $6 or $7 billion, and everybody should be DJing on the Flash 5000.
Yeah.
So we have to turn our innovations into acquisitions. Like we have to turn those into those things that we own the infrastructures. You know what I'm saying? We have to turn that, because without it, like it's the same thing for car companies. It's like every car got TVs in the headrests, LED ceilings in the lights. They got the best sound system. They got rims. It's very plush and comfortable. We were doing that when my dad was had a Cadillac with a TV in it.
That's the
right?
truth.
But do we own Chrysler? We don't own Ford. We don't own. So our innovations have to become acquisitions. We have to own the infrastructure. So social media, we innovate social media. But do we own Facebook, Instagram, Twitter? We don't. That is the reason why I built Fanbase. Everybody can use it, but someone has to own it, because the opportunity and the power that you can do with owning a platform like that, there's so much good, there's so much positive things that can come to the Black community. There's so much, just amazing stuff that can be done, and so much opportunity given to everybody across the world.
You just realized your business needed to hire someone yesterday. How can you find amazing candidates fast? Easy. Just use Indeed. Stop struggling to get your job post seen on other job sites. With Indeed sponsored jobs, your post jumps to the top of the page for your relevant candidates, so you can reach the people you want faster. According to Indeed data, sponsored jobs posted directly on Indeed have 45% more applications than non-sponsored jobs. Don't wait any longer. Speed up your hiring right now with Indeed. And listeners of this show will get a $75 sponsored job credit to get your jobs more visibility at Indeed.com/PODKATZ12. Just go to Indeed.com/PODKATZ12 right now and support our show by saying you heard about Indeed on this podcast. Terms and conditions apply. Hiring? Indeed is all you need.